What's up and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be asking a very important question, and it is, are Borderlands fans too harsh? Now this is something that I've thought a lot about here lately, and with anybody who's familiar with me, you'll know that I'm not one to just keep my thoughts to myself. But are the fans of this franchise toxic? Are they just really too harsh about these games? And while not necessarily an easy question to answer, I think that we should just read some comments from the community today and gauge where we're at with Borderlands as a franchise and judge whether or not they're valid, or just being straight up harsh. For reference, all of these comments are coming from a video I posted a little over a week ago now called The Problem with Borderlands 4, and where I discussed how the game is indeed going to be built off the bones of Borderlands 3, that being the Unreal Engine 4. But if you're interested, that'll be the top link in the description below. Now, the first comment that I'd like to break down was one of the more liked comments on this video, and it looks like 13 replies here. We're not going to be delving into that. But he says, you know what's funny? Any and everyone who's complaining is going to buy it. So at the end of the day, all the hate won't matter. Well, let me just say this. Feel free to think however the hell you want. But I don't think it's fair to assume that every single person who's bashing on Borderlands 4 and the movie right now is going to go out of their way to go and buy that game. And there's further proof of this with our next comment by Darkor. He says, I'm not gonna lie, with work and going back to school, I don't have time for games really much. And what time I do get to play, it's not going to be spent playing Borderlands 4 when it comes out. And to be honest with you, wait, hold on. I actually replied to him. @official Hellfire says, this is a man who respects his time. Simply put, but it's nothing but the truth.
The truth has set me free.
So far, I don't see anything wrong with the comments that we've displayed so far. I don't see anything toxic. I don't see anything negative. Just people on the internet explaining how they feel. And our next one comes from DJ NES 2K7, and he says, not having dedicated loot at launch is not a big deal. Play the story first. I actually had to just drop my phone there for a second. I got the comment screenshotted on there, and I honestly just threw this one in there because these are the kind of people that we need out of the community. If you don't enjoy dedicated loot drops, you more than likely don't like Borderlands for the reason Borderlands became popular. And I'm not saying the only reason that Borderlands blew up was dedicated loot farming, but if you genuinely don't like farming your gear, why the hell are you playing these games? And I can kind of get what the person's saying, enjoy the story, don't worry about loot and everything in your first playthrough, just kind of focus on the story details and all that bullshit, right? But here's the thing, Borderlands games have always sucked ass when it comes to their story. Even Borderlands 2, which is widely regarded as the best story in the franchise, is not that great. If we're being completely honest here, it's pretty overrated. Maybe it's because I've beaten it 200 times, 300 times, whatever the case may be, but it's really just not as great as people make it out to be. I still think it's a solid 7 or 8 out of 10. It's still solid, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, man, Borderlands has never been about the story. So this comment's just stupid, and I just wanted to throw it in there because if you're leaving comments like this on Borderlands videos across the internet, just stop it. And to be real with you, the feedback like this isn't going to help anybody. And in our next one, we have Allie J, and she says, not going to be surprised if Handsome Jack returns at this point in BL4. Well, Allie, if you missed it, I actually just tossed up a brand new video on Handsome Jack's potential return in Borderlands 4 and why I think he should not return in Borderlands 4, because goodness gracious, how many times can we bring that motherfucker back? I mean, seriously, I don't know how they ever expect to get out of that shadow if they just keep bringing Handsome Jack back time and time again. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm not going to be shocked if he comes back, but I really just don't want to see that. And the next one is from Handsome Mushy 4096, and what they have to say is, fuck BL4. Story and lore is so completely fucked that the only cure is a reboot. And this is another fantastic idea because if we're being honest, Borderlands has nowhere to go at this point. They've done so much with this IP. Genuinely, I think the best thing to do would be go all the way back and just fucking restart the entire thing from Borderlands 1 and go through the entire story again and just redo Borderlands 3, and we could forget about, New Tales from the Borderlands, and we could just move on from there, okay? There's so much that could be scrapped and done away with, and nobody would give a fuck, that a reboot actually serves for a better idea than most realize. And in my opinion, this isn't a toxic comment at all. Just because they dropped the F-bomb twice doesn't make it hate speech. This is somebody who's just clearly frustrated and pissed off. Regardless, I don't think they'd ever actually reboot the franchise, unfortunately, but no, I don't think that was a harsh comment at all. And if you feel like you don't care about Borderlands 4 and you don't want to buy it, you are free to have that opinion. And for me personally, I'm to the point where I don't even care to pre-order games in 2024. With how bad games have been lately, I think a lot of you should consider doing the same. But our next comment, this is a short one. It comes from Killer Sales Guy, and he says, "Good video." Just wanted to say much love to everybody sitting on the other side of that screen. I would not be here without you, and especially you, Killer Sales Guy. Our next comment comes from Frank H, and he says, BL3 was okay, but they were never able to fix the stuff that broke. Every week they fixed this and then something else broke. It made it seem like they didn't know what they were doing. They need to spend another 2 years getting the game right before they release it. And Frank, the reason why it felt like that is because that's exactly what was going on. They had no idea what the fuck they were doing, and they continued to not only nerf shit, but power creep items behind DLC that you had to buy. As in a lot of the DLCs, the new legendaries that they would introduce were just power creep versions of guns that were already in the game, just the DLC versions, had better stats. And our next one comes from Caleb, and he says, yeah, I never liked the BL3 graphics ... Just too overdone, and it feels like I've seen it countless times before. They should have made it in the BL2 cell shade with updated physics and slightly more realism. Now, I honestly don't really agree on the realism part. I don't think the Borderlands graphics have ever needed to look real, and I think that's actually a part of where the BL3 graphics style kind of goes off the rails a little bit. It's just too detailed. Like you said, it's a little overdone. The more simple, cartoony graphics is what fans are more accustomed to, and it's just more pleasing on the eyes. And the next one comes from Nate, and he says, I'll defend Gearbox in every Borderlands game till the day I die. They're so fun, and no, they're not MMOs. Oh well. Still lost 1,000 hours in these games total. Bandit life in all caps. And then he puts in parentheses, but I do hate Ava though. That I feel. Oh, well, you see, I think it'd probably take me 10 minutes to actually break this down. But I didn't even mention Ava once in that video that this comment was left on. But the fact that you're saying that you're going to defend Gearbox in every Borderlands game till the day you die. Now, I don't know your circumstances or anything going on with you personally, or, maybe you got an illness or something. But you should not defend any multi-million, billion-dollar company, whatever the case may be, until the day you die. You as an individual, as a person of society, have more to live for than defending a bunch of rich snobs that you have nothing to do with. Definitely a wild comment. I just had to throw that one in there because I never thought I'd hear somebody say that they would defend Gearbox and Borderlands, every Borderlands at that, until the day that they die. I mean, that is a serious fan right there.
It's like your brain doesn't fucking work. You idiot. You're honestly an idiot. I don't know what's wrong with you.
But I think what a lot of us have grown to understand and realize about life at this point is there's a lot more to it than just Borderlands. So defending it until the day you die should definitely not be on your bucket list. Not a harsh comment at all, but this next one is Broody36, and they say at this point, Randy Pitchford himself needs to be the new main boss in Borderlands 4.
Life could be a dream. Life could be a dream.
Now, I can kind of understand why you're saying this, because back when he was actually in charge of making the game and shit, Borderlands 1 came out. But trust me when I say Randy Pitchford's fingerprints are most certainly going to be all over Borderlands 4. As to if that's a good thing or a bad thing, really comes down to if you're getting a check from him or not. Most people like myself, who are just here to give their critiques and opinions online, haven't really enjoyed the works of Randy Pitchford over the last half a decade or so. And our next one, we have Gitman43, and he says Borderlands 3 2, referring to Borderlands 4, as he's saying it's going to be a sequel to the worst Borderlands game of all time, Borderlands 3. And no, I don't think that's a harsh criticism at all. I think it's completely valid, because that's what it's gonna be. And our last one, this comes from Point of Focus, and he says, I like your honesty. You don't sugarcoat any of your opinions, and I hope that Borderlands 4 will be great. I am cautiously optimistic of it. Well, I appreciate that. There really would be no point in doing YouTube if I sat here and bit my tongue every time I tried to talk. So I don't think you should be cautiously optimistic at all. I think you should just be cautious in general. You can hope for the future of Borderlands and Borderlands 4, but in my personal opinion, with how it's all lining up, you shouldn't expect anything great. And to answer today's question, no, I don't think that the Borderlands fans are too harsh. Some are a little more vocal than others, but to me, that's sometimes the toss-up between who cares more than the other person. As a lot of the hardcore passionate community is going to speak up on public forums like Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, the YouTube comment section, you go on and on, all these different places where fans can actually explain their problems with the game and what they would like to see improved upon in the future. And I want my channel to be a place where criticism is invited. I'm never going to hold back the way I feel, and I'm always going to keep it 100 with you guys. And I think the community is just tired. They're worn out. They're ready for some change, ready to see a new game, something that they actually can sink their teeth into and get excited for. But with a community that's been in a drought for years at this point, you know, Wonderlands I think just became 2 years old, or it's getting ready to. And we haven't seen a game since New Tales from the Borderlands. And then all the recent Borderlands projects just kind of looking like a big joke. The movie getting clowned across the internet. You have the book that nobody's going to care to read. You could say that I'm hateful. You could say that I'm spreading hate speech. I really don't give a fuck. Nobody's forcing you to watch my videos. There's plenty of other content out there. Just know that none of it is going to be as real as mine. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. I really don't think that the Borderlands community is too toxic or harsh. And I think that more of you should actually speak up. But that's really going to do it for me today, guys. And I'll just rephrase it again. No, I don't think that the Borderlands community is too harsh. But yeah, I don't really have much more to say. Please smash a like on it. Subscribe if you motherfuckers are new. And just know that I love you all to death, man. I appreciate you guys for watching this video all the way to the end. And I know I said it earlier in the video, but I really wouldn't be doing this without you guys. And it just means a lot to me, man. So no matter what everybody says, call me hateful or whatever the fuck you want, I'm just here because I love this community. I care about these games, and I want to see something better for them, man. And if spreading other people's feedback is going to help somebody, or, you know, make you laugh, you're going to take something from it, think about something a little differently, then that's what it's about. As long as I could just take you away from whatever the hell is going on in your day and make you think about something else, that is what I'm out here to do. Over 9,000 of you guys have subscribed to this channel, and to be honest with you, that is an absurd number to me. And in the grand scheme of things on YouTube, that may not be a huge number, right? You have people with hundreds of thousands, millions, and all this shit. But as a 20-year-old kid, or 20-year-old man, I should say, I never really would have fathomed 9,000 people saying, oh, you know what? I like this guy's videos. I'm going to subscribe. I think he's worth watching another. And another, and another, and I appreciate that shit so much. Just know that I'm not a softie, and you're never going to be too harsh for me, and I love you all to death. I want you to take it easy out there, stay safe, and with that, I will see you all in the next one.